The Ledger Nano S is an intriguing little thing. It's a memory stick sized hardware device that can perform multiple tasks, including being a secure Bitcoin wallet, an Ethereum wallet, and also a hardware authenticator for the Universal Second Factor Authentication standard. Thanks to Ledger for sending me this Nano S for me to look at. Alright, let's get to it. On first glance, this looks like an ordinary flash drive, but if we swing open the metal cover, you'll see there's a little screen and two buttons, along with the micro USB port on the end. The interface is intentionally simple and easy to use. You use the left or right button to scroll through options, and you press both buttons to confirm a selection. Setup is really simple. First, just plug the micro USB cable into the side of the Nano, and you'll see the logo pop up. It will then ask you to choose a pin number. You will need to input this pin every time you power on the Nano. It's worth stating that if you enter the wrong pin 3 times in a row, it automatically erases everything on the stick, so don't forget it. Next, the Nano gives you 24 different words to write down on the card provided. These are the recovery words, which enable you to restore your generated keys in case you lose or accidentally reset the stick. It then asks you a bunch of questions to test whether you've written your recovery words down. After that, you're ready to use the device. Ledger has its own Bitcoin wallet app that works in Chrome. I think there are a few other compatible wallets out there, but I tested on Electrum and I couldn't get it working. The Chrome app though seems to be a very polished experience. I just wish it was available in other browsers. You'll need to have the Nano S connected for the wallet to load up. The rest is just like a regular wallet, but when you want to send a transaction, you have to first confirm it on the device, adding a great level of physical security. The cool thing about this is that all the important keys and sensitive data is always stored on the Nano itself, so in theory it doesn't matter if the computer you use it on is riddled with Bitcoin stealing viruses or compromised in some other way, it'll still remain secure. And this also means you can plug it into any computer with access to Chrome and the Ledger Wallet app and still have access to your account. Ledger also has an Ethereum app available, which acts in a very similar way. Since the source code is open too, it's possible for third parties to create other apps for different cryptocurrencies.
Trezor is the first hardware Bitcoin wallet. Developed by Czech startup Satoshi Labs, the device is essentially a USB dongle and screen, designed to add an extra authentication layer to all outbound Bitcoin transactions. Trezor can be used to sign transactions on unsafe computers and is impervious to keyloggers and many other vectors of attack, even if your host PC is compromised with malware. That's also where the device gets its name, as Trezor translates into vault in most Slavic languages, a kind of vault for your private Bitcoin key. In terms of hardware, Trezor is based on an ARM Cortex-M3 processor clocked at 120 MHz. It has a 128 by 64 pixel OLED screen that is both legible and crisp. The second component of the user interface comes in the form of 2 hardware buttons, used to perform a number of actions necessary to set up the device and sign transactions. A standard micro USB port is located at the bottom. The CE and RoHS certified device measures 60 by 30 by 6 millimeters and weighs in at 12 grams. While not certified as fully waterproof, the company says the device is at least water resistant. Trezor is Windows, OS X, and Linux friendly. All you need to do is connect your Trezor to the computer and follow the instructions. The whole setup should take no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Trezor uses state-of-the-art cryptographic algorithms and practices, but the code is open source and technical decisions are discussed with the wider developer community. Everything can be audited by an independent third party. This ensures that Trezor is absolutely transparent and backdoor free. No matter how unprotected your computer or internet connection might be, your coin.
Keeping your Bitcoins on your computer is problematic because it's hard to secure it. There's a private key that's in your wallet. If someone gets that key, they can get all of your Bitcoins. If you lose that key, you lose access. So that key is the key to everything in the Bitcoin world. What that means is that you have to make sure that your computer is secure. I know some people that go so far as to storing their wallet on a computer that never goes online, right? Because every time you go online, you run the risk of getting a virus or getting a keylogger where, somebody's going to be able to record your keystrokes. The alternative then is to store your Bitcoins with a service or on an exchange or an online wallet. But keeping your Bitcoins with a third party is also problematic because you have to be able to trust them. The best way to keep your key safe is to limit its exposure to the internet. KeepKey makes that simple. The private key is on the device and it never leaves the device. It's very hard to do the wrong thing when you're using a device like this. You plug it into your computer when you need it. When you don't need it, you take it and you put it in a safe, you put it somewhere secure. Nobody has access to your private key. The private key never leaves the device. When you get your KeepKey, it's really easy to set up. You have to install a Chrome extension on your Chrome browser, and that's the software that allows you to initialize and send transactions with your KeepKey. Plug the device into your computer, and it will prompt you for a name for the device, and that's so that you can distinguish between multiple devices if you have more than one. And then it's going to ask you for a PIN for the device, and that's the PIN that you'll need to enter when you want to do a transaction. And then the device is going to, one time only, tell you what your private key is so that you can write it down and store that away as a backup. Let's say I want to buy a safe on Overstock.com. So I go to their website, I find the safe that I want, and I put it into my shopping cart, go through the checkout process. And one of the options there is to use Bitcoins. And so when I click on that button, the KeepKey software pops up on your browser and it automatically populates the details of the transaction, the address that it's going to and the amount. Your KeepKey is going to ask for your PIN because it wants to make sure that it's really you. And so then you confirm the transaction on the device and it automatically sends the signed transaction back to the Chrome extension, which automatically broadcasts the transaction to the Bitcoin network. And a week later, your safe shows up.
This is a digital Bitbox. A digital Bitbox is a hardware wallet for Bitcoins that brings simplicity and rock-solid security to you. This is how it works. Simply plug it into a USB slot and go to the digital Bitbox app on your computer. All USB communication is encrypted and unlocked with a password. In the app, check your balance, get addresses to receive coins, and spend coins, like this. Enter the destination address, the amount, then create the transaction. The transaction gets sent to the digital Bitbox to be approved and signed using private keys that are locked securely inside it. To complete the transaction, hold the touch button, or touch briefly to cancel. It's as simple as that. Optionally, verify the transaction using our second-factor authentication app. To learn more and to see why the digital Bitbox is the right wallet for you, check out our website. Be your own bank with Bitcoin. Get your own security team with the digital Bitbox. Built on military-grade cryptography and Swiss standards of quality, move on with peace of mind.
The Open Dime is one of those projects which rarely captures the imagination. Like I mentioned in the previous video, there's something distinctly cyberpunk about these devices, and when I heard there was a new version of it, I had to take a look. I have a few of these to give away too, so check the end of the video for more details. Thanks again to Rodolfo from CoinKite for sending these over to show you. The first thing you notice is the new updated design is smaller than the previous version, measuring in at 40 by 12mm. This one now has rounded edges which makes it much more comfortable when in your hand or pocket. There's also a hole at the top so you can attach it to a keychain or carry it around your neck. As well as that, the unlocking mechanism is different and more robust in this next version, but I'll get more into that later. There's also now a dedicated anti-counterfeiting chip on the board, which holds a secret key assigned by the Open Dime factory, making it easier to verify that you have a genuine stick. Setup is much the same as last time and involves plugging the OpenDime into a computer, phone or tablet, then dragging some files onto the drive, which creates randomness to generate your unique Bitcoin private keys and address. Again, this is all done on the processor of the OpenDime itself, and this process doesn't touch the computer. Once complete, you then open the index.htm file on the drive and you'll see your Bitcoin address and QR code which you can send funds to. This time around, when you want to unlock your funds and spend them, you need to get a pin or pointy tool and push it through the hole on the back of the stick. This pops out what looks like a resistor on the other side, altering the circuitry and permanently changing the flash memory in the processor. The private keys are then available on the drive and can be imported into any Bitcoin wallet to spend the funds. I think the OpenDime's strongest selling points are that they're a way to securely gift someone Bitcoin, or perhaps to use as a type of paper wallet replacement for yourself. They'd be perfect for buying mid to large value items in a secure offline way which leaves no trace on Bitcoin's blockchain. There are still some challenges to overcome regarding fluctuating exchange rates, trust and security when using these as an everyday replacement to cash, especially when transactions involve strangers.